Hello, everyone. This is Jim Simard with Printing and Publishing. I've been authorized by ClearPropTV's Paramotor podcast to edit this week's show and rebroadcast it for you. In this edit, I endeavor to focus on the guest, their story, and what they have to say. If you find this show even a little bit informative, please give it a thumbs up, and that will benefit others. It'll allow them to find the video easier and learn as well. So, if you have any questions, put them down below in the comment section and I'll answer them. Also, if you enjoy the show and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified when more videos come up. Have a great day. Enjoy the show.
Well, welcome everybody to PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, ClearPropTV, and paratalk.org. This is going to be a wonderful podcast. As always, we know that a lot of you are out flying, like John Wayne is saying. So we always have the podcast at your favorite podcasting app. Anytime after this, just search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. Let's say hello to Linda Anderson. She's our Paramom USA from ParamomUSA.com. She has her little pom-poms.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Monday night.
Glad you are here,
TV in the
Linda.
house. Thank you so much. Thank you, chatters. Thank you, viewers, for hanging out with us tonight. Mondays always rock. So just sit back, enjoy, grab your snacks and whatever you got to do. And yeah, enjoy. We got lots of stuff going on here tonight with our guest Stephen English in the house. So I'm pretty excited. So like I said, y'all enjoy it. It's for you. This is for you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Linda Anderson, for joining us. If you want to be on the show, just make sure you go to ParamomUSA.com. That forwards over to her Facebook page. You can PM her and say, yo, I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearPropTV, or paratalk.org, and she will hook you up.
That's right. I'll hook you up.
Thank you very much, Miss Linda. We also got Will Fly from WillFlyPPG.com. What's up, Will?
Hey. Had in here in North Carolina, the last few days has been crappy weather, but today I got a nice hour-long flight and I couldn't be happier to get back up in the sky. Not as happy as I am right now, though. I mean, 8 o'clock on Monday nights, PPG Grandpa show, but hey.
Well, I'm always going to say that flying is going to be more fun than being here and talking about paramotoring. It's much more fun to be doing the real thing. So you got any new videos that we need to go check out, Will?
Still working on it, but yeah, check out the videos at willflyppg.com or just go to YouTube and search for Will Fly. You'll find me.
Awesome. Will Fly is going to be looking in the chat to see if there's any questions for Stephen. And if you do have a question, make sure that you tag Will Fly. All right. We also got Jim from Canada. The only guy I know that has maple syrup smelling money. We should put that on the calendar too. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So what's new with you? What number are you up to on your flying?
I'm at flight 143 now.
143. That's awesome, man. You're going to be up there to 200 in no time. I like your hat. What's your hat say? And what is that all about?
Oh, my hat says Care Printing and Publishing. That's my business. I print on things.
That's
Don't
awesome.
have to do what I do because it's putting ink on paper.
Anything. Oh, really? So you can make your own money?
Aha.
No.
Jim's the reason for our inflation.
It's the reason for maple syrup smelling money. He's actually pouring it on his stuff and putting it out there.
You're allowed to joke about that. I'm not.
He's not allowed to joke about printing up fake money, so I can do that, but he can't. If you want to, he also has a DIY company, so tell us real quick about that, buddy.
DIYprinting.ca, and you can go on there. You can design prints like business cards, flyers, whatever you want to design, and you just submit the graphics, and we'll print them up and ship them to you.
Awesome. Even though you're in Canada, we from the States can go to that DIY site.
That is for sure. You can.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Jim does print up all of our ClearPropTV stickers. We're going to be sending out some more stickers just get up with me. You know my number, 501-747-3558. Just text me and say, yo, I heard that you're giving away free stickers, and I'll send some out to you. We also got Wade Collins in the background. He's helping us out with logos. He's going to be on our panel tonight, just watching. So thank you, Wade. We appreciate you. But it's not about you guys on the panel. It's definitely not about me. Our guest tonight, and he's going to be telling us about his fun shenanigans. He's been learning, or he has been a pilot since 2020, but he also back in 2003 got his General Aviation's license, your sports pilot's license. That's correct, right, Stephen?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. So back in 2004 is when I actually got my private pilot's license. Not my sports license, the private license. And my first passenger at the time was my dad after the check ride the day after. And fast forward to 2018, I saw a special video. I think everybody who flies, well, a lot of people who fly paramotors these days know about. It's the Tucker flies to McDonald's famous video. And that gave me the bug, and I watched his show or his channel for the next 2 years before I finally dove in. And it was in 2020, June of 2020. It was the silver lining of the year for me. I got to solo and get my PPG2 license or certification.
Awesome. So real quick, what's the difference between the General Aviation's license and a sports pilot license?
Yeah, so with PPL, there aren't as nearly as many limitations to when you can fly. I believe they can't fly at night, but I could be wrong there. There's all kinds of limits. I'm not sure what they are. I haven't looked at that in a while, but it at least allows you to go on cross countries during the day, take up a passenger here and there. Although I'm not sure even if that's something you can do, but
so there's a pilot, so there's a sports pilot license, there's a General Aviation's license, I assume
private pilot's
commercial license. What's that?
So it's private pilot's license and then sports license. And the sport license was it was brought out after that, after I had got my private pilot license, just I guess allow more folks access to aviation, general aviation. That was the idea. But yeah, it's just more limitations basically than with your private pilot's license.
So what's the easiest one to get? Let's just say that, we are into this PPG, we want to, go into fixed wings. What would be the cheapest way or the easiest way to get a license to fly something that has more than just one seat?
I would say your tandem exemption with PPG, flying with trikes. Now,
right.
That's probably the cheapest way in all reality. But yeah, getting your sports license, I would imagine, would be the cheapest way to go.
Okay. And with the sports license, you can fly the PPC 2-seaters and things like that, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Sounds like you got a lot of aviation under your belt. So welcome to the show, Stephen. We definitely appreciate it that you're here. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into paramotoring, and then let's go into your prop was spinning on your rack as you were driving.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it was really that bug that caught me by watching Tucker fly. I've also watched quite a few of your vids and watched your development, your growth in the sport. So you were definitely an inspiration there too. But yeah, once I got my PPG2, I done at Aviator, I brought it back up to Pennsylvania, and my first attempt at flying in Pennsylvania, it was interesting. So it was going to be a morning flight, and I had everything I put together. The whole process was laid out. I knew what I was doing, and I had my motor on on the platform on my Jetta, and I was actually going over to pick up my now wife's mother, so my mother-in-law now, going to pick her up, and everything was fine going to her house. And then when I picked her up and we were going to the field, we're going down the road, and I hear thump, 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 thump. And I look in the rearview mirror and I see my prop just spinning. And I knew, I mean, my heart just sunk at that moment. I knew that I wasn't going to be flying that morning because I didn't have a backup prop. And so, you know, I wasn't about to give up. I thought maybe there's a possibility I could find a prop somewhere. I didn't really know anybody at the time. I didn't have any connections up here in this area. So I reached out to Eric Farewell with AviatorPPG. And I knew that he was friends with Tucker, and Tucker had recently started selling e-props. So maybe 10 minutes after I got in touch with Eric, he hooked me up with Tucker, got me in a group chat with him, and Tucker invited me over to his place, his print shop where he prints his t-shirts in New Jersey. So that was about like an hour and a half drive. I drove over there, I met Tucker. We talked in the parking lot for a good half hour. I got a couple autographs from him. And he invited me to fly that night. Unfortunately, I had obligations with my now wife. You know, the work-life balance thing. You got to keep that up, and he understood. Regardless, I was able to get back and get up that evening. So for me, Tucker saved my first flight in Pennsylvania. He helped me get up in the air.
Well, that's really cool. I think I would have blown off my date with the wife to go fly with Tucker, but hey, I guess you're the better man.
He got it. He understood. You could see it in his eyes. He knew what I was doing. So I think he respected that. So
That's
At least
awesome.
mull it over, man, or was it an immediate? No, did you mull it over at all? I mean, did you have to think about?
Yeah, I did. I did, Will. I thought, you know, wow, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know this is
But,
being recorded, right?
I probably wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have heard the end of it for a couple of days. So, you know, there was also that. You know, playing it safe.
Well, I'm looking at your background because it's not blurred and you don't have something like I got going on. And I see all sorts of interesting things. Matter of fact, I'm going to put you on spotlight as I'm talking so people can look in the back. I see a picture back there. It looks like you got a picture of a wing on your wall. Is that you?
So this right here,
Yeah.
yeah, that's me with my Spider 3 in South Dakota.
Nice.
My brother lives out in Rapid City. He owns a cabin up in the woods, or it's like pasture land, but Black Hills. You know, it's just amazing terrain out there. And yeah, I was just on the top of a hill right there, just kiting in the wind prior to taking off, and got. I think actually my wife took that picture. But
That Tucker
yeah,
guy
yeah.
on the left there.
Right
Yeah.
here, yeah,
Other
that's Tucker
way.
Gott's blueprint poster.
Oh, I meant look, that picture there on your right.
Oh, no, this guy right here. This is actually Jim Carrey.
Oh, that is cool.
So when I was a kid, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, I watched that over and over, and he actually. So I sent him a request in the mail to get an autographed picture of him. So he wrote to me, "Thank you very much." Signed it, Jim Carrey. Here, let me show you a close up of this.
That's cool.
Oh, that is
Oh
cool.
my gosh.
Thank you very
Thank
I
much.
you.
love it.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I love his sense of humor.
He
Yeah.
is so cool.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like you play the guitar too. I see the music.
Yeah.
Guitar's behind
So
you.
I was in a garage band back in high school.
Okay. That's
as
where
I-
it starts. That's how you.
Yeah, right. And I got pretty good at it. And then after, like, once I hit college, I didn't really play that much. And I wish I played more, but every now and again, I'll pick it up and noodle around. But I've got this acoustic right here that
Wow.
would be fun to, have at a campfire or something. Just play some chords, get
So,
everybody singing along.
so I do want to ask you about you bringing a guitar with you to a fly-in, but before then, I see a airplane tail there. So I take it that you fly some RC also.
Yeah. Well, I just got into that after Well, okay, so let's back up a little bit. I grew a fondness for aviation when I was little. I was the kind of kid who would just look up at the sky at the birds and just watch them fly, and wish I could just be them or be with them up there. And I just always had shared that fondness for flying and aviation with my dad. He was a doctor, so he didn't actually fly, but he definitely had an interest in it, and gave that interest to me, passed that on to me, and I took off with it. We used to build model airplanes together. He got me white wings. I don't know if you guys have heard of those, but they're amazing. They you glue together a bunch of paper, you kind of layer it together and create this really solid fuselage, wing, and tail and everything, and they fly so well. You launch them with a rubber band up in the sky. They stay up sometimes for a couple of minutes. They're great. And we were working on a Model RC that we actually never finished, that I have down in the basement. Eventually, I will want to get that up, but this is a maybe month-old purchase. This guy, it's a Turbo Timber Evolution. It's called,
That's cool.
and you can see here, maybe the fourth flight in. Let me get a little closer. The landing gear completely got torn off because I tried to loop it a little too low, had a battery that was a little too heavy for that particular maneuver. And I couldn't pull out of the dive, and yeah, the gear just came right off. So I was able to glue it back together. I think I'll be good. I just need some springs for the landing gear to keep them together. But
Cool.
Pretty cool. You gave us a big bio, so the bio for you is down in the description of this video. So if anybody wants to read more about Steven, definitely check that out. But pretty cool. All the stuff that you got going on the background. I see the pictures of, is it that airplane? Is that one that you flew or one that your dad
yeah,
flew?
this guy right here. So that's the plane that I soloed in. My first solo was in that. It's a Piper Cherokee Warrior, and yeah, low wing plane, as opposed to like a Cessna high wing, lower center of gravity. I like low wings because when you're when you're scanning in a turn, you can see more of the sky, as opposed to a high wing. When you're in a turn, you really can't see above you, and I just like the view better, and some of the handling characteristics of a low wing.
That's interesting. Talk about the high wings, the low wings. I wasn't aware of that. That planes had, those planes had that you could
Yep.
model
Yeah,
whatever you
it's a
pick out to fly. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very different experience overall when you go from one to the other. But I mean, the fundamentals are the same. You fly in the same way.
Yeah.
It's just what you're experiencing is a little different.
So what do you prefer? You said you prefer the low
Low
wing.
wing. Yep.
Okay, because is it safer than the high wing? Because as far as going like the winds, is that what it has to do with like going in the wind or turbulence or whatever?
Actually, a high wing probably would be more stable, but I don't think one's more safe than the other.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just different flying characteristics, really. One interesting thing to note is when you're flaring in a low wing, you're more you have more interaction with the ground effect, with the air kind of pushing off of the ground and then back at you, at the underneath of your wing. So you feel more of that, and you kind of float longer with a low wing plane than you do with a high wing plane. So that's something that's different too.
Are they the same like lengthwise or whatever, or is one maybe a shorter wing than the other, the low and the high wing?
No, I think they're about the same size. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I love all the cool things that we get to learn by having different guests and having this podcast. Now this is on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, this one was one of my favorites to make because I just got some beautiful footage. So this is up near Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. There's a huge wind turbine area that we were able to go up to. It's just perfect conditions for it. They weren't turning, so you didn't have to worry about any rotor. That's Ben Stang in the red wing, and I got him going around the turbine there. And I was able to get, you just had like such a free perspective because I wasn't piloting the trike at the time. So the trike pilot at the time was Pat Seckley, one of my buddies up here. And so he was flying, I was documenting basically. And I put some good music to this too. It's very emotional. If anybody gets a chance to look at it, it's here's Paul Hardy, one of my other buddies that I fly with a lot. I'm giving him the foot wave there because I have to hold the camera. But yeah, it's just a beautiful area. This is Dave Wells. He recently learned to fly over at FlyPPG in Illinois.
Okay.
And it's great flying with him too.
Well, I'm going to put your YouTube link in the description down below because I don't think that you provided that for me. So I'm going to put that in there. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the super chat real quick. That way, anybody that wants to go to your YouTube channel, hit that subscribe and hit that bell notification. I think you have 33 subscribers-ish. So we definitely want to bring that number up. So if you guys want to, don't forget to like this video, go over there and check out his video, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Awesome. So you've been flying for a couple of years now. Tell us about your most incredible adventure. Have you had one of those yet where that's just like, wow, mind-blowing? That actually looked like it was mind-blowing around those big windmills.
Yeah, it's hard to say. There's been so many now at this point, just in the 2 years that I've been flying. And usually it's a morning flight, but sometimes you get really good evening flights that are just butter. And I had one of those yesterday on my birthday of all days.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, so I met up with my buddy Paul Hardy, who I was giving the foot wave there to, in one of his fields up near Tunkhannock. And there was another pilot there, Herb Wooten, and we got up in the air together. And this was actually the first time I got my wife out to, well, it wasn't the first time she went out. She doesn't like going out because when I'm off yonder, wherever, you know, she doesn't know. She gets kind of bored. We'll say that.
Right.
So, you know, she'd prefer to just let me do my thing and, you know, go out and have fun and enjoy my hobby. But I was able to get her out because it was my birthday. And so I had her there. I had Paul and his wife there, Herb and his dad and his dog. And we went up and we went over to meet up with Dave, who we were hoping would get up in the air. He's kind of new, like I said, so he was having trouble launching. He wasn't able to get up, unfortunately. But Paul and I, we flew together around the area. We had, I think it was like a 20 or 30 mile flight in total. And we were everywhere. We went up and down the river, and I don't have floats, so I was being very mindful of, you know, where I could land along the coastline, or, you know, I could make that field if something happened right now, you know, those kinds of things. I had those in mind. That looks like the Susquehanna. But anyways, yeah, I just remember some memorable moments from that were seeing a bald eagle go across my flight path, waving to people along the shore as they're fishing, going through a tree tunnel. It was like a dried out divergence of the river. So it was completely dried out, but it was just, you know, this tunnel of trees that I went through, and I knew I could clear it. So I did that. I got up and I watched Paul do it. So I got the first person experience of it, and then the third person view of it. And I actually luckily got that on GoPro. So hopefully I'm going to be putting that up on YouTube at some point here. Yeah, so that was the most recent, most memorable flight that I have, for sure. Although going back to 2020 in August, so I trained in the beginning of July 2020. And then in August in Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania, where Aviator holds a traveling class. Tucker showed up, and it was, I think, a Saturday morning, and we all woke up and we took off, and we're all just cruising around. It's gorgeous air, butter air, and I'm doing my thing, and then I'm, maybe 500 feet off the ground, and I look over to the end of a field and I see someone swooping around. He's going right for a corn row, or like a road in between the corn, the field of corn. And I had watched enough of his vids to know that that's probably Tucker, because that's just his style. That's what he likes to do. And so I raced over there, and as he's climbing out of that little pathway, I get up to him. It's probably obvious to him I want a wing bump, and I was able to get a wing bump from Tucker. So that was totally memorable. And then
Wow,
also on that
wing
flight,
bump from Tucker. You got his autograph. You got his
Yep.
prop. Man, you guys are best buddies and stuff already, aren't you? That's
well,
awesome.
yeah, we're in pretty close proximity, so that helps. Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Brian Waller wants to know if you have any, I guess, if you're going to pick up General Aviation or any interest in doing that fixed wing again.
Yeah, that's a good question, Brian. Thanks. Hey, Bill. Galileo. I have been looking into costs for doing that, because that's the biggest, thing prohibiting me from doing it or getting back into it. It's just the cost of training that it would take to rent a plane, get an instructor, pay for the fuel. That's just all adds up. And it's like, adds up to like $200 an hour. Maybe not quite that much, but possibly. I haven't looked in a little while, but yeah, so it's very cost prohibitive. But eventually I will get back into it. I have some buddies who fly that I'm looking to, have them take me up and get reacquainted with everything, and then eventually, do another. I just have to do a check ride with an instructor. They can sign me off and say, all right, you're good to fly. I do have to also get a medical done, but yeah, those two things. If I get those two things done, I can just get back into it. So kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Marzano says airplanes are for rich people. He's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean, there's
Absolutely.
the have-nots and the have-yachts, and it's freaking expensive.
Yeah, that's the truth, for sure.
Yeah, this is the poor man's aviation. I kind of feel like we're kind of like the mopeds of bikers, because mopeds, we don't need a license, we don't need insurance, we can pick one up off of eBay and go drive it as long as we know the rules of the road, right? We're a little bit slower, only up about 25 miles an hour, and then motorcycles can do 200 miles an hour right by us. So we're kind of like the moped of the flying community type of thing. We are the lowest. We are the lowest, but it's definitely the cheapest. And also too, our $100 burgers are not up to $100. We got maybe about a $25 burger. So and Will, tell us about the $100 burger thing since you're a pilot.
Well, it used to be in the olden days. $100 burger was when you'd rent an airplane or even fly your own airplane to another airport, stop, have a bite to eat, get a burger, come back, and that'd be $100. And so that's the $100 burger. Yeah, we can like go through the drive-through, we can like fly somewhere and pick up a burger through the drive-through, right?
Yeah, Tucker taught us that. And a lot of people have done that since. I know I've stopped
Can't do that in an airplane.
You can't do that in an airplane.
No.
I stopped.
Yeah, I've had that $100 burger before. It doesn't taste it. It's all right. You'd expect more for $100.
Yeah, it's definitely the adventure.
It's definitely the adventure.
Yeah.
So it's not that the burger cost $100. It's the amount that you're paying to get into that airplane, the fuel, flying from that airport to the other airport. So it's not the burger's $100.
It's the mission.
It's the mission, right? I mean, Tucker went to McDonald's. Let's see, Anthony Vella went to Walmart and made himself a peanut butter and jelly. I went to Denny's, which was really fun. My friends and I went over to Sonic one time. So I mean, it's fun to take your paramotor someplace, but it's not going to be that expensive. Our gas is still a lot cheaper than General Aviation. We are about a half an hour into our podcast. Jim, would you say hello to everybody that said hello to us in the super chat real quick? And you're still on mute. He goes, "Ah, crap, I'm on mute." That mute thing. Come on, maple syrup, you can do it.
I'm slow as molasses today.
And just say hello
Yeah,
to everybody
so-
in the chat for us, buddy.
We got a few people here today that have said hello. There's Bill H, Padre Brooke. We've got Greg Lanny. How do you say that, Greg? Is it Lanny or Lene? Sorry, man. Jason Renault, Matt Sloper,
Hey.
Greg Morgan. We've got Tony Marzano
Cool.
and Z. Who is Z? Or should we call him Zed? No, it says State Park. He must be Z. Okay. So then we've got SC Aviator. We've got William Garland, who apparently has just started a power motor repair shop. So you can check in with him about any repairs that are needed. We've got Flying Flamingo. And I think that Angela Preslick is in the house as well.
Hey, girl.
Oh, and you'll never guess. Brian Waller is here. I think that there's a story coming up about Brian Waller.
Waller?
Stick
How's
around.
it, Jet, Mr. Haybale?
What's up, hey, Bill?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, what's
What's
up?
up, Haybill?
And Mac Fly Guy is in the house, as well as Kenneth Kidwell.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Glad that
Yeah,
you're in the chat.
Come on.
If you're able to give us that thumbs up, that really helps a lot. We definitely appreciate you guys. Was there any questions on the panel for Stephen?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Did somebody ask this already, Stephen? Like, when did you start flying airplanes? Like,
I
when
think
did
we
you
talked
start-
about that in the in the pre-show.
Yeah.
So I started flying airplanes. Actually, my first experience with flight was sailplane, and it was an aviation 101 course that I took when I was in high school at the local college. And yeah, they took us to a glider field and towed us up and gave us the controls in a glider. So that was my first experience flying an actual airplane. And then it was in 2003 when I started my PPL, get going towards my PPL license, private pilot's license.
Okay.
So I got my private pilot's license at the end of my freshman year in 2004.
Oh, okay. And so you're still flying the airplanes then, on and off? or-
No, okay. So yeah, that what happened there was I did have an intent to fly commercially. I was going to pursue my instrument rating, my commercial license, multi-engine ratings, all that stuff. So as I mentioned previously, my dad was my first passenger after my check ride to get my private pilot's license, which was amazing. And that flight, I remember just explaining everything to him, just freely, just like moving around the cockpit, showing him, this does this, this does that, explaining why I'm doing this, why I'm telling them that on the radio, all those kinds of things. And he was just fascinated. He loved it. So that was the day after my check ride. And then 3 months later, unfortunately, I lost him to lung cancer. And that just took the wind right out of my sails. Kind of went into a depression. Really stopped flying. I kept flying until about 2005, but then after that, I just I couldn't get myself to the airport anymore.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But then, yeah, so I limped along,
Yeah.
limped along until maybe like 2018, and then I saw Tucker's video, and I was hooked. I had to get back into it. I had to get back into flying,
Good.
so
That's
I used
awesome.
that to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's good.
Since
That's what
you,
that's what your dad would want you to do.
yeah,
He'd want
That's
you to
right.
be back up in the air,
That's
right?
right. Absolutely.
Right. That's right.
So I know there's a lot of pilots out there. Will fly as a pilot also too, and he also loves the paramotor. Between flying like fixed wing, like General Aviation, or flying paramotors, and you said that you're also in a trike too, what is your favorite form of recreational flying?
This is a question for me or Will?
For you, Stephen.
Well, okay, it's definitely paramotors, and the reason being is just the amount of freedom that you have that you don't have flying fixed wing. I mean, you can fly over the treetops and then just put your hands up and drop down into a field and start foot dragging it, or you can go all the way up to, well, like Chucky did, up to 17.5 and be irresponsible like that. But there's just so much breadth of what you can do in a paramotor, as opposed to in a fixed wing plane. With those, you're just limited to airports and flying above 500 feet. So yeah, it's just the freedom of paramotors.
I've
got
heard
me
that
hooked.
a lot. A lot of it was from Will too. Will said the same thing, right? Well, you feel the same way, Will?
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is to fly and to get the feeling of flying. That it doesn't compare to an airplane. I mean, paramotors got that beat.
Absolutely.
So I do have a question for you, for both Will and Steven, since you both have flown airplanes, fixed wing. What do you think is easier to learn to fly, a fixed wing airplane or a paramotor with a soft wing? Steven, you first.
Yeah, well, a plane is definitely more complicated. You have systems you have to worry about, electrical, radio, the engine, how it works, what to do in emergencies with all of that. Talking on the radio, it just, there's a lot more involved with flying a plane than there is with a paramotor. But I mean, that said, it does take a bit of gumption to want to run into the sky like we do with paramotors. So it's they've each got their own levels of challenge for sure. But I think Will would agree that because of the complexity of airplanes versus paramotors, they're probably the harder one to fly.
Okay, what do you think, Will? Because you also are a general aviation instructor, or you were, correct?
I still am.
Oh, good. Okay.
So yeah, that's the most difficult thing to teach someone, is how to land the airplane. The airplane will fly because that's what it's designed to do. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely more complicated in an airplane, like Stephen was saying, with the systems and stuff. But all of that aside, just the flying of the airplane is much more difficult I would think, than, well, I know. I mean, I basically had 6 lessons, and I was flying the aircraft by myself with the paramotor. It wasn't the king of an airplane, Not only that, once I'm airborne in the paramotor on my first flight, if it is to be, it is up to me, and I'm the one making all the calls, right? So yeah, definitely paramotor was much easier to pick up.
Okay, for all the people out there that were on the cusp of, well, should I get my general aviations or my private pilot license, or should I go into paramotor / triking? There's your answer. It's a little bit more expensive. Okay, a lot more expensive for your general aviations or your pilot's license, or a lot less expensive because you can put everything into your car and trunk with a paramotor and a bolt-on trike. So you can actually do like a retractor trike, bolt on to your foot launch, and you can put everything into your car. So you don't need a hangar and a place to put everything. So paramotors are pretty inexpensive, easy to transport, launch almost anywhere. I think they're awesome, and that's why I've been doing it. I can't imagine me not doing it. I think I see this for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I agree with that.
Love it.
There was one thing that Stephen said that's a biggie between, flying an airplane and flying a paramotor, and that's the freedom. I mean, you really are much more free in a paramotor to go. You see something kind of cool, you go over there, check it out. You can get lower. It's just so much more maneuverable. And I think that's why I love the sport so much. Just the total freedom of kind of doing what I want.
I don't know. I still would love to go on an airplane. Like I've been watching JT Ordell on Facebook and stuff, and he flew with a pilot, and all that stuff, and that would be so fun. So you never know.
Yeah, I guess you can also put all of your paramotor gear in a fixed wing airplane, fly someplace very far away, and then relaunch your paramotor at the airport that you landed at. So
how fun would that be?
That sounds pretty interesting. I mean, so, I guess it really depends. Flying a
Yeah.
paramotor is for fun, and I think flying an airplane is for destination, like a car, basically.
Yeah, I just think it'd be fun if you've never done it, it'd be fun to fly in an airplane like that. As to, I flew in commercial planes a million times, but to be in, on those private planes or whatever, that would be, I don't know what you call them, but that would be like super fun.
Most private airplanes, small airplanes, are 2-seat or 4-seat, right? That's about average 2 to 4 seats for a
Yeah.
private. Four.
Four.
Average.
Four.
Four
Okay.
is probably average, I would guess. Yeah.
Okay.
There you
Um,
go.
So
There
you
you go.
have to have a license to fly other people, but because we're only flying ourselves, single seat, and it's under 254 pounds, we don't need to have a license. We don't need to have an N number. We don't need to have all the complications of radioing the tower and stuff like that. So you're right. We do have lots of freedom. It's absolutely amazing. Speaking about freedom, could you tell us a little bit about what wing you have, what motor you have, frame that you have? What do you think about it? And have you flown anything else other than your own rig?
Yeah, well, in training down at Aviator, I tried fly products. I don't remember the names of, maybe the Eclipse. Do you know if that's the name of a fly products rig? The harness.
Clips?
The Eclipse, yeah. So I flew that. At least I think that's the name of it. But I have a decent amount of time in an Atom 80, but it's mainly Parajet. Like, I really felt comfortable in their harness and the setup, and how the frame is built. It just feels very comfortable. It's lightweight. It's a little flexible, but not too flexible. But I really found that I enjoy the power of a Moster 185. So I have a Parajet Maverick with Moster 185.
And how much do you weigh?
What's that?
How much do you weigh?
185-ish.
Okay.
So yeah, I like the climb rate. I love the get up and go with the Moster. The wing that I fly is an Ozone Spider 3 24 meter. And I just love the way that handles. I think it's great for beginners, and I think it's great for people who want to progress further, and try different things, all the things that you can do with paramotoring. I just love the way that thing wing overs. It's just so smooth, and you do kind of have to throw it around a little bit. You have to use a lot of weight shift to get a good wing over, but when you do, it just feels so great. And it also has the ability, the option for tying in 2D steering. It's got the tip steering lines with the toggles attached to a magnet that you can, take the toggles off and attach it in for 2D steering. So you could do that. You can also use a speed bar. So, pretty much all the advanced wings have, it has those capabilities. It's just not it's more docile than the more advanced wing. That's all.
Yeah, I think those are pretty good wings. My first wing was the Roadster 3, which is the heavier version of the Spider 3.
Yep.
The Spider 3 pops up a lot better than the Roadster 3. I mean, brand new, side by side, the Spider will go boop in the most lightest winds. It's
Agreed.
really awesome. They're really
Agreed.
great for new students, because if you don't touch the trims, you keep your trims in or at neutral, and you don't touch your tip steering, it's a very stable, amazing beginner wing. As you grow into it, you let the trims
Yep.
out, you hit the speed bar, you use the tip steering. Once you learn about the tip steering, then you can tie it in, like you said, for the 2D. I personally like it separate. That's just my thoughts. I got the Roadster 3 and a bunch of different wings I've had that had the tip steering, and I just like the ability to go up and grab that tip steering if I need to, instead of having to worry about in or out, up or down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with the easy to inflate thing, and I think that's especially important around here in Pennsylvania because of the I mean, it's not as mountainous as out west necessarily, but we've got a terrain here too, and anytime the wind picks up a good amount, it's not always the best to fly. So we try to pick nil wind, or up to 5 miles an hour. Above that, it's just not fun around here anyway. I find, for me personally anyway.
How high are you above sea level? What's your ground
Uh,
level?
it depends. So it's anywhere from like 500 to 1500 or so. No,
That
yeah,
much difference of where you live?
So yeah, I mean, the mountains kind of pick up. I'm in what they call the valley, in between Scranton and Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
I don't know if you know where that is in northeast Pennsylvania, but
Okay.
yeah, it's just a big, deep valley. And so my house is at about 500 feet above sea level, and then where I go to fly, which is over the ridge, and to the north about 15 miles. At Siemens Airport is I think 900 feet, or I want to say, but it's higher, you know, and that area generally is higher above sea level than where I live here in the valley.
Okay. Do you feel any difference from 500 feet above sea level to 1500 feet as far as taking off with your 24-meter wing?
Not really, no, not much of a difference.
Especially since you got that Moster 185.
Oh yeah, that gets me right up there.
And you're 185. Will, how much did you say you weigh, bud?
150.
150. And you started off, Will, with the Atom 80, then you went up to the Moster 185 at 150. And Steven, you started off with the Moster 185, but you did fly the Atom 80s or the 80cc before. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I did have a number of flights on the Atom 80, so I got to compare the two, you know,
Mhm.
to make a choice which one I liked the best, and I definitely like the better climb rate, and the power around turns is also cool. You know, I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and with the right wing too, with an efficient wing, the fuel consumption is not that big of a deal, really.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I don't burn that, you know, a whole
You
hell of a
started
lot.
out, the Spider 3 is a B wing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so you started out, that was your first wing?
their first flights, they get you up on an A-wing with a Mojo. So, and it was the older Mojo, the one before the winglets, not the Power Mojo 2. And that thing in the morning, it gets wet, and trying to pull it up is really hard. It's like a boat trying to get it up in the air. And there were a lot of failed launches and a lot of huffing and puffing back then. So, you know, they switched me over to the Spider, and I just freaking loved it. I mean, it was just easy launch, got right up, and I love the handling characteristics once I was up. So I'm actually really a natural at landing. I think I wanted to ask you about this, Will, if you felt the same way, but having the flight experience as a private pilot, I noticed that the pressure, I had a feel for the landing, the flare that maybe a lot of my classmates didn't have. Did you have that same experience?
I didn't, except for, you know, when you're learning to land the airplane, your instructor's probably hounding on you. Look down at the end of the runway, at the end, eyes to the end of the runway, you know?
Yep.
So I had that going for me. Once I remembered that and put it into practice, landings were so much easier, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I did have that benefit. I mean,
There you go.
transferred that right over. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's one of the things that I, try to slam into the students. Always look at the horizon when you're coming in for a landing. When they forget, I know when they forget because they go straight down and they barely flare and they butt land. When they do look at the horizon, they have no problem coming in and they have a nice, perfect landing and they tiptoe away from it. So it's a huge difference.
I've got a story. This happened
Okay.
several nights ago, but I was coming out July 4th. Okay. And it was at the very last couple of minutes of that twilight time that we can fly, right? 30 minutes after sunset. So it's getting kind of dark, and the field that I was landing in, they didn't mow it, which was kind of cool because as I was coming down, you know, I kind of like my feet. I like to be able to feel the ground under my feet and then kind of flare. And but since they didn't mow it, I had this little cushion, you know, these little weeds or whatever that are in a field. So as soon as I felt that, man, I'm like, oh yeah, right on, ground contact. So I don't know. Little things excite me, I guess you can tell.
Kind of reminds me of being in Ground Effect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That feeling.
I mean, that's the hardest thing to do, really. I mean, it seems counterintuitive to wait until your foot touches the ground. You know, that's very uncomfortable. But for me, it works.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. When I was training down at Aviator, it was actually the first class that Judson taught. He was an intern at the time, his very first class, and I was in it. And maybe my fourth landing, he got me doing a power slide to landing. So like, you know, initiating pressure at like 3 feet off the ground, your feet like just start sliding on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's this incredible feeling, you know, and I felt like I'd been preparing for that for my entire life when, you know, in the, you know, cold winters in central Pennsylvania in the backyard, sliding on the ice. And I just, you know, I had the feel for that. So like, it's like I've been training for that since then.
That sounds like what Sean does. Isn't that what you do, Sean?
Yeah,
Like
I call it a foot drag to a landing, but what'd you call it, Stephen? A powered
Power slide to landing.
power slide to landing. Okay, so
I don't
yeah,
know why. It just sounds cool.
yeah, it does sound cool. I can do infinite power or foot drags, and then when I'm ready to land, I just cut power as I flare, and I just kind of step into it. I guess if you came down and slid and then landed, I guess that's a power slide, a little bit different than just a foot drag to a landing, but same thing.
Yeah, you're bleeding your energy with contact with the ground,
Yeah,
basically.
that's
I've done
awesome.
a power
Cool feeling.
slide to landing, but it was on my stomach. Does that count?
Sure, why not?
On wet grass?
Why not? Sure, no problem.
Those are fun to watch.
Yeah, they are.
They
It's hard
definitely
not to laugh. I gotta admit.
So, would you call it power what? Power landing?
Power slide to landing. Yeah. Power slide landing.
Power slide.
Yes.
As
Is that
to
anything
what
like the
landing?
electric slide?
Yeah.
I'm not a big dancer, so I don't know.
Okay, stop. Now I feel old.
Woogie woogie woogie, it's electric. I know. You got some young kids like, what the hell is he talking about? What's electric? Boogie woogie woogie.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I had gym class and they tried to teach us that.
Gym class, that's hilarious.
Gym class, yeah.
Hey, Stephen,
Power
I'm still, this
slide.
whole time I've been thinking about those windmills. Man,
Yeah.
that would be awesome to fly around. I'm going to come up and fly with you.
Oh.
sometime. I can go fly around those
Please
windmills.
do. Please do. We'll take you over there. Yeah, it's phenomenal up there. It's so gorgeous, and especially when you have good sunset and just everything, the light going on them. Yeah,
Nice.
you gotta check it out.
That's
We have some
really-
cool spots in the viaduct. You know, the infamous viaduct. I visit that. You know, maybe a couple times a month. Always flying over there, and I still haven't worked up the gumption to fly under it yet, but I'll get there.
How about that? I was watching one of your videos, and there was like, I guess it was the river, but there was like a sandbar that your buddy was foot dragging. Did that ring a bell?
I have a couple of those.
It was like a 13-minute long video, and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's I also enjoy that kind of flying. I think I remember which one you're talking about. Was it the Carvey Night one that I called Carvey Night?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's it. So are you like a low and slow kind of, is that your style? Or you like flying high? What do you like to do?
Yeah, well, I definitely prefer slow and low. On occasion, I like going up high and then, you know, doing wing overs down. You know, I always got to get that practice in because I think that's crucial to progression and being comfortable and proficient with controlling the glider. But yeah, I love being in proximity to the ground and just following the terrain. And like last night I was foot dragging some water and it was warm and I wasn't even sure if I touched it, but then when it started evaporating, I could, you know, tell because it was cold. Yeah, okay.
That's it.
Yep. And I think I loop around here and then I see Paul coming and he does this kind of the same trick. And then I follow him and kind of get a good tracking shot at him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a fun spot to explore. I'm usually over there.
My internet's not the best, so if someone else wants to share it, you're more than welcome to.
No, you hit it. That was the exact one I was talking about.
Yep. I was doing a lot of that kind of flying last night. Yeah. Yep.
I love doing that. One of our we just acquired another Atom 80, and you know, a lot of my students were always wanting that most are 185, and they're thinking that they wouldn't be able to get up, in a Atom 80 being 150 pounds or 180 pounds. They want something with more strength, more power, right? So me and my, infinite wisdom of being a 250-pound guy, let's go ahead and see what I can do in this Atom 80. And with the proper technique, making sure that you arch back with your posture, feel the pressure and power, I was able to keep my feet going and just keep myself from falling. And I got up in the air. Yeah, Grant, with me, a 250-pound guy, I didn't have the best climb rate, but I was able to get up and go fly around and have a good time.
There you go. There you go.
I wish that I was under 200 pounds, because I think that might be my go-to wing. It's so, the motor is so
She's a Cadillac.
quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so quiet.
It's quiet and smooth, and you barely know it's running. Yeah.
It really is amazing.
It really is a great engine. I agree.
Absolutely. Well, we have chatted with you for an hour.
Wow.
Had a really good time with you. It looks like we what do we got, Will? Did you just posted something? What do we got?
Yeah, there's a couple donations.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Saw that. Padre Brooke, PPG donated $5 and Greg Laney donated $10. Thank you guys.
That's really nice of you guys.
Nice.
Thank you so very much. I wasn't able to
Thank
see
you.
that.
Thank you, chatters.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so very much for the donations. Everything that we get here, we turn around and put back into the show. We get these stickers. We send out stickers, ClearPropTV stickers. We also got some Paraswag USA stickers, and we got some other stuff that we want to send out there. So if you guys have anything paramotor related that you'd like to give away on the show, please get up with me. Just text me 501-747-3558 or email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com and say, hey, I got this. I'd like to donate this to the show, and we'll give it away. So we definitely appreciate you guys. If you guys want me to send you some free stickers, you can email me, or actually go to ClearPropTV.com, and we have a form that you can fill out, and that will send all your information over to me privately, or you can just text me 501-747-3558, say what your name is and your mailing address, and I will send you out some stickers. I found that the stickers that I sent out before, they all didn't get to their destination for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm going to resend out a bunch. I think everybody just wants more stickers for free, but no big deal. I just sent them out for free anyways. We got Hare Smith that joined us, so welcome. You're more than welcome to hang out with us if you want to. John Wayne is going to be jumping in here right now for our after show.
Cowboy in the house.
So join us and hang with us with your video on, or just listen to us in the background. It's no big deal. So anyway, Stephen, it sounds like you've had a very interesting couple of years. You've had a lot of fun flying experiences. You've been flying for a very long time. And you were doing paramotoring. Now, you did the trike thing with somebody that triked. Do you also trike, or you just went up with somebody in a trike last time?
Yeah, no, I just went up with somebody in a trike. I would love to get into some trike flying. I did get some ground handling. So Judson did take me or let me rip around on the Flash Cruiser when I was down there training to fly foot launch, but I didn't actually get it up in the air. So, but I do want to get that under my belt at some point here, maybe in the next year or two, hopefully a year. Just, the sooner the better. The sooner I get up in a trike, the better, because I love the idea of it. And it looks like Brian Waller just commented something, but I know he flies the retracted trike, and I don't know, is that something that you can hook up to a Parajet? Or would I have to get a Fly Products for that?
That I don't know, but I know that they bolt onto many different foot launches. So
I think he has the same setup. I think he's got the Parajet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to look into that then. Thanks for the reminder, Brian.
He asked if you've flown more advanced wings yet, and do you have your next wing picked out?
I did. So I was leaning towards the Sirocco 3 as a good stepping stone, in the next area of my progression. But so I don't know if you guys well, I can't really say much about it. So my good buddy, Jeff Torber, recently passed in a paramotoring accident, and that may or may not have been the wing that he was flying. So that kind of turns me off for now until I get more information on that wing and what happened. That's the other thing. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to speculate or, say anything until we have more on that. But apparently the wing has been sent to the USPPA to be inspected. So we'll see what comes of that. So yeah, it was the Sirocco 3. Now I'm kind of leaning towards the ITV Piper. I'm looking for something maybe a little safer. I don't know, something that is, maybe almost as nimble as that or as nimble, but maybe with a little more safety to it. I don't know.
Also, Stephen, too, you're more than welcome to be part of the panel every Monday. This is
Cool.
this is what we do. All the previous guests that are on the guest chat, you can come in and be part of the panel anytime that you want to.
Awesome.
Love to have
Thanks
you.
for the invite.
Absolutely. Stephen, real quick, how many wings do you have? And are you planning on getting another wing anytime soon?
Well, I love the heck out of my Spider 3. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's just so versatile, and I'm just finding that I'm growing it. I'm growing with it. It's allowing me to do that. So I'm in no hurry to get a next wing, but like Will said, I'm looking for something maybe just a little spicier. Maybe a little swoopier. And so yeah, it's either the Sirocco 3 or the ITV Piper or one of those intermediate wings. But yeah, but
John.
well, no, Sean, you were asking me what wings I have. The only wings I have are the Spider 3, and for ground handling, the Roadrunner.
Oh, really? Okay. How do you like the Roadrunner? I need to get one. I need to get one,
Yeah.
but I don't know anybody that had one or used it unless they were at a school. So, as a student, tell me what you think about the Roadrunner.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's great for ground handling. I mean, it has all the same kind of characteristics for ground handling that you would want. And it gives you that buffer that you don't have to expose your wing to UV unnecessarily. You don't have to, weather your wing. You don't have to abuse it in proximity to the ground when you're ground handling. So yeah, it's just, I think it's a great thing to have. It really lets you keep maintain your ground handling skills without doing any damage to your main wing. So
That's awesome. Anybody out there have a wing like that, like the Roadrunner, or a small wing that's just for ground handling? You're ready to sell it because it's used. I do need one. Please get up with me, 501-747-3558. Let me know that you have one. I would love to get one for the school. How long do you normally fly?
Well, initially it was, like I said earlier, about 10 or 15-minute flights. And then, as I got more comfortable up in the air and with the area, I've been doing like an hour 45, an hour and a half. So yeah, I'm kind of up there now with you.
Good. How about you, Will? How long do you normally fly?
How long? About an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half? Okay. Jim?
Oh, well, recently I've been going 3 hours.
Wow.
What? Wow. What size tank?
I said 17.5 earlier, but it's actually 16.
Okay, and that can get you 3+ hours?
Yep.
On a Muster 185?
You betcha. I adjusted the lower screw, and I have got it down to about 3.94 liters per hour.
Do you have a temperature gauge on that?
No.
How about you, John Wayne? About how long do you normally fly when you get up in the air? What's your average?
Right around an hour.
An hour?
Yeah, about an hour.
How-
Be 2 hours, but I average about an hour.
Okay. How about you, Padre? When you fly, about how long do you like to fly?
I just have a couple of short flights, 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay. So thank you very much. Definitely appreciate y'all for being here. Everyone that's listening to us, everyone that's watching live, everybody that jumped on the panel, we definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much for your help, Will. Everything that you do, Jim, thank you. Linda, for getting everybody. John Wayne, thank you for helping support our channel. And of course, Stephen, thank you very much for being our guest tonight.
Thank you for having me.
so much fun. And like I said, you can be on the panel and hang with us anytime that you want to.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Stephen.
Appreciate it,
Much
guys. Thank you
appreciate
so much.
You guys
Stay
have
out
a
there.
wonderful day, and we'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow. Is there a show tomorrow, Will?
Yes, there is. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Go to YouTube, search for Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane, and yeah, hang out with us on Tuesday night hangouts.
Awesome. And then Wednesday, I believe that we still got an all girls podcast over at paramotorgirl.com. And then
Yes.
Linda, what do we have going on Thursday?
Well, on Thursday nights, we have paraglidingchalk.com with my awesomest son, Robert Michaels. But this Thursday, there will not be a show because Robert is on a vacation with his wifey, and they're in Maui.
Ooh, lucky
Wow.
ducks.
I know. And I'm so happy for them. So we'll be back the following week. So
Well,
yeah,
he needs a vacation, so
Yeah.
that's awesome.
so they're having a blast. I'm so happy for them. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you very much, Linda, for helping us. She's our PR girl. If you want to be on the show, get up with ParamomUSA.com. If you need any stickers made or decals, make sure you get up with Jim over in Canada and go to CarePP.com for that. Or if you want to watch his shenanigans, go to CarePPG.com. Will Fly, thank you so much for everything that you do on the show. And for anybody wanting to watch his fun shenanigans, go to willflyppg.com. My name is Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa, your host, and we'll see you next week on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearPropTV, and CareTalk.org. We'll see you all later. And thanks again, Stephen. You're awesome, buddy.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, y'all have a
Bye.
great evening.
Yes.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the end. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more, then click the subscribe button and you'll be notified when new ones come available. Have a great evening.